Hey guys, it's Heather the Crochet Witch. How are you guys doing? So, I was going to do this video and I did it last night actually, and I had to redo it tonight because I deleted it. I was editing it because I ended up being quite long-winded and talked too much, and I think I've mentioned before that after my camera hits 33 minutes and like 17 seconds, I think, it starts a new piece and then I have to edit it together. So even if I do no other editing, I have to splice those two together. So I'm going to try to keep it under that. But when I went to edit it last night, I deleted at least part of it because then I went to actually do the saving of it, and it said the part of my video was no longer in existence, and I was like, oh my god, I just cleared room on my phone. And with my phone, because David asked me, can't you get it back from your trash? I could have, but when it goes to my trash, it stays there for 30 days and I can get it back or not get it back. But if I go into my trash and actively empty it, I cannot get it back. There's no getting it back from a void anywhere at that point. So it's just gone. So we're going to do take two today, but that's okay. Hopefully I can get through a little bit faster and not ramble as much, even though this was like a 2-minute rambling already. So what the video is about is I've been meaning to show you guys for a while. And of course, since I was going to last time, and between then and now, my tastes have probably changed a little bit. Your tastes have probably changed a little bit. But I thought I would do a current favorites as far as yarn goes. My current favorite, I picked out 10 of them. Some of them are pretty similar, as you'll see. But I wheedled it down to 10. Of course, I like a lot more than that. There's not very many yarns that I don't like, but I did wheedle it down to 10. They're in no particular order, except I will start with my absolute favorite one. And if you've been with me long enough, you probably know what that is. But other than that, no real particular order. If I have a current project, or at least a somewhat recent project to where I could grab it to show you an example of some of it, I will. I've obviously worked with all of them at some point, but I don't always have, I don't have examples of all of them right now. So we're just going to get into it. So hopefully I don't talk your ear off. But like I said, maybe I can show you some different yarns that you don't know about, or maybe inspire you to try some different yarns, or maybe some that you thought you wouldn't like. Maybe if I talk to you about why I like them, maybe you will give them a chance, or not. We don't all have to have the same, I'm not trying to talk you into anything. Just, I know some people were curious like what my favorites were, and I'm always curious what you guys' favorites are. So you should definitely let me know down below if you agree with some of these, if some of these are your favorites, or if you have other favorites, you should let me know. Or you can feel free to post them on the Facebook group also, which is linked down below. But yeah, feel free to let me know. Now we'll actually get to the yarn. How about that? Yeah, so my favorite ever, and I'm sure you guys have already guessed, is Lion Brand Landscapes. I found out when I did this yesterday, and the take one, that I actually have a lot of Lion Brand. I didn't mean to do that, but Lion Brand Landscapes is my absolute favorite for several reasons. One being my favorite type of yarn is roving yarn. I love it. My favorite size of yarn is probably between a 3 and a 4. And this is listed as a medium 4-weight yarn. And for those of you familiar with Red Heart Unforgettable, these two yarns have been compared before. This one is definitely the thicker of the two, and I would call this a 4-weight yarn. Like maybe a 3-weight, but remember what I'm showing you right now. And again, I apologize for my nails. It's wintertime and getting brittle. Like every year they break off, so I should just cut them all down, and that should be that. I should let them grow again. But anyway, roving is going to change. It's going to be like this size 4 is going to be a 3-weight at some point. It may even be a 2-weight at some point, depending on the twist. Some places it might be up to a 5-weight or so. And then there'll be 4-weight through a lot of it also. But I do feel that this is about a 4-weight for the consistent amount. There are a lot of comparable colors to Red Heart Unforgettable. Some of them are even, I think, pretty much the exact same, especially now, because like Landscapes came out with some other colors at one point, and Red Heart Unforgettable more recently came out with, like, not recently like the last few months, but like more recent than Landscapes, came out with some other colors, and they now have some more comparable colors. There's obviously some differences between the two, and I feel like more of the Landscape colors resonate with me. In fact, even the brighter colors of Landscapes, I love them. I love all of them. Red Heart Unforgettable has kind of like, people have mentioned like a shine to it or sheen to it. Landscapes also has that, but I think because it is like a thicker yarn, you really see that sheen better. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's beautiful. This particular one, colorway is called Mountain Range, and it's one of my favorites. My favorite is Volcano, which is like a Halloween sunset. It's like red, orange, purple, and then there's a black mixed in with it. There's like a deep, like indigo-ish blue kind of. It's very beautiful. This is very beautiful. But yeah, so we'll talk real quick about how the makeup of this is 100% acrylic. It says you can machine wash on gentle and lay flat to dry. I'm hopefully not going to repeat myself too many times this take, but I was saying that at some point maybe I'll make a video where just a lot of the yarns, especially the roving yarns, I make swatches of and wash them and dry them. Just because I feel like you can wash and dry a lot. Like you'll get a little bit of pilling with some and a lot of pilling with some. I've made a blanket and hats with Landscape, and mostly, I feel like I have made something else with it, but I mostly hoard it for like a rainy day. Like this is going to be a shawl, this colorway in particular, one day. I do hoard it in particular, I'll be fully honest, but what I have made, I have not washed the blanket yet because it was like really pretty, and we don't like use it to cover up with, so it was kind of just folded up and set aside to more like look at right now. I made it in the apple orchard color, and it's so pretty. I just really love it. And I feel like I've washed the hats, and there has been a little bit of pilling, but nothing crazy. So, but we'll wash them and dry them eventually, and I'll show you guys so you can judge for yourself. But yeah, so first and foremost, Lion Brand Landscapes. Love it, love it, love it. Always want to have it on hand. My favorite yarn, hands down. Now in no particular order, though I do love these yarns, is another Lion Brand yarn, Ferris Wheel. Ferris Wheel, for those of you that have been with me for a few years, I had made Sandra Paul from Cherry Heart Crochet. I had made her Nature Walk Cal, which was 2 or 3 years ago at this point. I think it was 2, but it might have been 3. And I made it in all the different colors of Ferris Wheel. And this is another roving styled yarn, but it is a really light, like I compare it to cookie yarn because it's really light. Like you almost, when you're working with it, if you go really fast, you almost like can't tell it's there sometimes. It's just a really quick, light yarn. It's very warm too, because we've covered up with the blanket and all that, and it's very warm. But anyway, so I had made it and I fell in love with the yarn, and then right then Joanns put it on clearance. And I freaked out and I was like, oh my God, that means it's going to go away forever and I'm never going to get any more. And I went to all my local Joanns and I bought a ton of it. And turns out only Joanns was getting rid of it. The store in town, Myers, has it, and Lion Brand website still has it. Myers only has certain colors. And Lion Brand the website has all the colors, unless like they're sold out now and then, but they still have it. It's not clearanced out. It's not going away yet, knock on wood. But this is actually Damon's favorite colorway, and it is called Cotton Candy, but it comes in a lot of different colorways. To talk about this real quick, it is also 100% acrylic, but it is so light and soft. I would have totally believed that this was made of like polyamide or something like that. It's just really like fluffy, light yarn. It says that it is a medium 4. However, I had my finger in here and I probably should have just left it there since I don't have my nails to separate the yarn that easy anymore. Like, it's a roving, so again, it will get a little thicker and a little thinner, but like, I'd say this barely hits a 4, if that. I would call it probably a 3-weight yarn for the most part. Like maybe a stretch to be 4, but I'd call it a 3, I think. It's definitely, I'd call it a 3. Some people might call it a 4 though, so. It is machine washable and dryable, and we have covered up with the blanket, and I believe we have washed it, and there has not been a lot of pilling on it that I can think of. And let's see, what else do we got here? Where were you made? This was made in India, and then again, this is Cotton Candy. Damon wants a blanket out of this so bad, so I'm probably going to give in and make him a blanket out of it. Real quick, since I didn't mention it, Landscapes is made in Turkey. And then my next one, this isn't a whole skein because I do have a project attached to it, but Lion Brand again, Scarfy is one of my favorites, and it has been for quite a while. This is another roving style yarn, like you can see right there probably. It's actually growing pretty thick to thin right here. Scarfy though is not 100% acrylic. Scarfy has got some wool in it, so I know some of you guys cannot handle the wool. It is 78% acrylic and 22% wool. This particular colorway was actually a gift at Christmas time from Damon because he knew I didn't have this one, and he knows how much I love Scarfy yarn. It is called Cream Taupe because obviously it is made up of cream and taupe, and they marl together, and they make this beautiful two-toned marled in the middle color. All of the Scarfies do that. They'll be like black and pink, black and purple, just whatever color, gray and silver and blue, just all the different pink, and I think there's a pink and silver. There's a lot of different colors. But fiber on my tongue, sorry. Still. This one is considered a bulky 5. And once again, roving, it does go a little thicker. I have always treated this as a 4 though. Like, I don't know why. Sure, some people actually consider it a 5 and would agree that it's a 5, but I have always treated it as a 4. Like if I need to use a 4-weight yarn, I will not hesitate to grab Scarfy. It does get thicker here, and it is definitely a 5-weight up here. But yet, I don't know, I just always do. It's not a terribly thick 5. That's for sure. It says this is machine washable on cool and lay flat to dry. And where were you made? I think Scarfy might have been made in Turkey, but I'm not sure. Let's find out. It's always the hardest part to find, isn't it? Made in Turkey. So yeah, and then this is the beginning of a project that I have in it. So as you can see, like, here's where it's actually the taupe color, and here's where it's actually the white color up here. But there is a really pretty marling effect right here where it marls. See that? It's very pretty. I really, really love Scarfy yarn. For having wool in it, you can feel the wool and it's warm, but it is not, like, it's still very soft. Its name is Scarfy, so I mean, it's very good against your skin. I think all the yarns that I have are nice against your skin because I'm a very, like, soft, needing to feel it against me kind of person. I know there is purpose for yarns that are denser, or like not denser, but like scratchier and warmer and stuff, but that place is not really with me. But yeah, so that's the beginning of a hat that I have shown you guys before, and we'll eventually finish. I just have so much other stuff going on, and most of them are like blankets and stuff. So Scarfy yarn. Then, at least one more roving has made it onto the top of my list here. And that is, and I know I'm going to mispronounce this, Shipshe's Wanderlust. This particular gorgeous ball of yarn is in the color Bangkok. Shipshe's Wanderlust is very similar to a now discontinued yarn from Michaels called Colors. I love it. I think I did manage to get one ball of each one of the colors yarn from Michaels. And there was at least one, maybe two colorways that I got multiples of. But I wish I had ordered more of it because I love that yarn. So I'm trying to buy up the Wanderlust as I can. It's a bit pricey, and it is, I always buy it from Wool Warehouse, so it's like shipping from overseas. And like I said, it is very similar. These are smaller balls, and there are, most of the colorways are pretty similar, but there are, I think, extra colorways in the Wanderlust. If I remember right. I'm trying to, like, if I had put them side by side, obviously I would know, but I think there's some extra colorways. And I believe there's 12 or 14 colorways of the Wanderlust, and Wool Warehouse is frequently sold out of some of them. Sometimes all of them, but usually it's some. And I have all but one or two of them. I would like to get all of them. So I need to, like, go back and check again. But the problem is, of course, I'm not trying to buy a ton of yarn. And if I'm going to buy one or two balls of yarn, I tend to buy more with it. So I really do want to get the others of it. And yeah, like, I have several balls of, like, say this one, because this one is also going to be a shawl. But it is just this gorgeous yarn. This is also 100% acrylic. It's super, super soft. There is a bit of a halo to it, which I know you probably can't see very well. There are usually, in almost all of these, much like with the Michaels colors, there is other colors hidden inside. See, look at that. Just absolutely stunning colors. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. Does it even say the weight on here? I don't think it does. It has a gauge. It has the color being 459 Bangkok, and it says it's 100% acrylic. I would call this a 3-weight yarn. And again, roving, so it's going to get a little thicker and a little thinner, but I would call it a pretty good 3-weight. I'd say it's probably about the width of Lion Brand Mandala in general. And it's just absolutely stunning. The colors on all of them are so vibrant and pretty, and I love them so much. Like Pokemon, I want to collect them all. But yeah, so that is high on my list also. And then something maybe you weren't expecting. I was going to put Karen cakes, just the regular old-fashioned Karen, original Karen cakes. And it's not that I don't like them, because I do. But thinking of the wool intolerance of people, like, not that I'm making my favorites with others in mind, what they can't use, but obviously I want to think about what others can wear, right? When I'm gifting things or making for things. And to me, this is so similar, but 100% acrylic. Bernat Pop. I love Bernat Pop. There's a ton of colors. I don't think I've seen a Bernat Pop that I don't like color-wise. Like, they're so pretty. There's some really interesting color combinations. I think my favorite one is called, I think there's a retro and there might be a kitschy. I think there's both. And I like those a lot. This particular one is called Scarlet Sizzle, and I really like this one too. But these are just a good old-fashioned 4-weight. They're about similar to Red Heart Super Saver thickness-wise. Like, they might be slightly plumper. But I'm going to check, but I believe they are a 4-weight yarn. Where are you? Yep, medium 4-weight. The care instructions. Oh yeah, this one had it on the reverse, but I believe it's machine washable and dryable. Let's just pop the label off real quick. Where are you? That is in French. Machine washing and drying. Wash in water not exceeding 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius at a delicate setting. Do not bleach. Tumble dry at low heat at a delicate setting. Do not iron or press. Do not dry clean. So, pretty basic care instructions. And, like, Karen cakes say that, like, they have wool in them. And I believe they say to, like, lay flat to dry. And you can definitely wash and dry those. You can wash and dry Bernat Pop. I definitely have like granny squares and stuff like that have been made with Bernat Pop and washed and dried, no problem. But I think this is like a really good thing to just be able to reach for, especially if you are allergic to wool and can't use the Karen cakes, or if the person that you're making for is allergic or intolerant to the wool. It's just a really good substitute. So yeah, I'm a big fan. And let's see. These were made in China, just so you know. Then I could not resist putting this on my top 10. It is technically discontinued, but right now in the stores and possibly online, you can still get it. But I had to add Cozy Wool Tweed to my top list because I love this yarn. I love it. This is a chain spun yarn. It has definitely got a halo because, as the name implies, there is a little bit of wool. Like, it's got a big old crazy halo. I just don't know how well you can see it. But it's not all, like, that part's just really fluffed out. But it's not all, like, crazy, but yeah. But it can get quite fluffy, apparently. There is just a little bit of wool in here. So, like, if you're able to handle a little wool, but maybe not pure wool, this might be a good thing to try. Because there's a lot of softness in this. There's 66% polyester, 30% acrylic, and 4% wool. They listed as a light 3, and I used to think this was more like a 4, but I had recently seen another, like, lifted a piece of it like this, and the chain part is kind of flat, And I think I do agree that it is a 3-weight yarn, just with quite the halo on it. And what I really love about this, because I love tweed yarn, but how often are you working with it and sometimes the tweed flicks fall off, or when you wash it, they fall off, or if you're making it for, like maybe a kid, picks at it and picks it off. A lot of tweed easily comes off, right? This, I had already mentioned, was chain spun, and let me see if I can... All of the colors that you're seeing, the flex, the tweed, they are inside of the chain spun. So if you can see that, if it's focusing as well as I wish it would, it's inside of the chain all the way down. This color is part of the chain. It's not falling out anywhere. It's not going anywhere. But yet when it works up, and I have part of my blanket squares here to show you, see, that's not falling out anywhere. It's part of it. And it's still tweed looking. It's got that flecked look. It's gorgeous. I think it's just wonderful. I love it so much. I hope that Michaels brings this back like they have done some of their other seasonal yarn. I wouldn't even mind if they bring it back in other colors, but I definitely love, like I've hoarded up these colors, a brown color, and then I have just a couple of other like one skeins of other colors just to make something small with. And my ghost shawl that I want to make, the Lift Your Spirits shawl, I bought and hoarded up some white in this with still the colored flecks going through it. I really, really do like this yarn a lot. I tried so hard when the seasonal yarn came out at Michaels to not fall in love with it, and I failed miserably. I just really, really love the cozy wool tweed. Oh, and where was it made? Where was it made? Made in China, though. I mean, I'm fine with that, but I know some people are not fans. But just so you know, it is made in China. So that was the cozy wool tweed. And then, trying to keep an eye on it. I know when my camera switched over last time that I did a video, my voice got off track in the second part. So I think I'm going to like stop it and start over so that doesn't happen. I think I'm just going to do that right now if you guys don't mind. Just 1 second. And we're back. So hopefully that did the job. I just showed you the cozy wool tweed. Another yarn that is not roving is Karen Jumbo. This one in particular is my favorite color of this. I think it might be discontinued. It is called Plum Copper. It did go on clearance at my Joanns, and I did buy up I think there was like 4 or 5 of them, and I bought them all. But you know how that doesn't mean always that, like sometimes they'll go on clearance and then later they'll be back. I don't really know why all the time. Sometimes it's because of label changes. Actually, I do think Karen might have changed their labels. So like that's a possibility. Or the color really could be discontinued. I'm not sure. I'll have to check because like I'm currently making a blanket with this and I think I'll have enough, but I want to make like all the blankets with this. It's so Halloween-y to me with the different shades of purple and then that pop of this beautiful orange. And in the Halloween blanket that I'm making, I'm pairing it with like an electric purple and a pumpkin orange and like this really bright green, and like it just makes it pop even more. It's gorgeous. But Karen Jumbo is the variegated sister or brother to the Karen 1 pound. And Karen 1 pound is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Some people have complained that it's a little stiff or a little harsh. I agree that it's harsher than this. It's not like old Red Heart Super Saver harsh. And I think different colors are probably a little bit more mild than others also, so bear that in mind too. And that may be the case with this too, because honestly, I don't know if I have used a Caron Jumbo before this. Like maybe I had a while back. Actually, I have a while back. And I honestly, like when I first started crocheting, I definitely did. And I don't remember. I think I liked it. But this stuff is like silky smooth. It's wonderful. It's still obviously acrylic, and it's 100% acrylic. And it is a 4-weight. Yes, it is a medium 4-weight, which I agree with too, because it's very similar size-wise to Red Heart Super Saver, just so you guys know. But like, I feel like it's important to have like acrylic in that size that you can just reach for if you're going to have like a collection of yarn. And unless you just don't like it, of course. But like for me, I feel it's important. And like, I love having this. Like now that I learned how much I love this, I do have some other colors of it to reach for now. But yeah, I just think it's beautiful. And like I said, it's really soft. There's a lot of yarn in it. And if you can catch it on clearance, it's such a good deal usually. Like, I know some clearances are better than other clearances, but you get quite a bit of yarn. Because it's the variegated form of the Caron 1 pound, it is not as much yardage, but it's still quite a pretty hefty amount. It is 12 ounces, which is 340 grams, which is 595 yards, which is 544 meters. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to have in your collection, and I really do love the yarn. So now this, excuse me, this is made in Turkey. I've already said it's a medium 4-weight, and it is machine washable and dryable, which I agree with. Oh, I have used this before. When I showed off my blankets from last year, the big granny square, like scrap granny square blanket that I made is joined with the continuous join with like the Dalmatian color of this. And that is also really silky and smooth. And so like maybe it's the newer ones that are, I don't know, but it was a really nice, like lovely yarn to work with. So I really do like it. I do have the squares from my Halloween blanket. So just to show you, it's variegated, so it does work up in a bit of a pattern anyway, at least as far as solid granny squares go. And every single square, no matter where I start on the yarn, works up like this. Like half of it is like a stripy pattern, and half of it is like a speckled. Every single one. So it's just odd to me that it does that. But yeah, so that's it worked up. Super love it. And yeah, that's Caron 1 pound, or Caron Jumbo, the cousin of Caron 1 pound. Then I have another chain spun yarn on my list. I love this yarn so much. It is another Lion Brand yarn. It is Boogie Nights. Lion Brand Boogie Nights. It is so soft, because I told you I'm a big sucker for all things super soft that you can have right directly next to your skin. And it's super soft. It is sparkly, which is also a pretty good criteria for me. And you like, if you really sit here and like squish it and everything, you can tell the difference to where like you can tell where the sparkle is, but you can't feel it. Like you really can't feel it. The sparkle is part of the chain spun, and then there is, this is 100% polyester too, the yarn is. So around, come on, focus. Around the chain, come on. It's like super fluffy and then sparkly, and fluffy and sparkly. And that, I guess that fluff just keeps you from feeling any kind of roughness. I don't know, but it's wonderful. The yarn is so luscious. It comes in a lot of different colors. And another thing that I personally love about this yarn is how so many of the colors are like retro-y, like vintagey, retro-y looking. Like there's an orange, but it's like a light faded orange almost. And to me, it pairs really well with, well, it pairs really well with this to start with, which is like an avocado-y green. But there's like, their blue is like a powder blue that's like that color of every fancy tuxedo in the 70s, you know? And so the orange and the blue to me would pair really well together. There's like a cream with like some gold sparkles running through it, I believe. There is this color, which is a dark red. And it has this beautiful silver sparkle. I had just used my scraps of that for a heart when I was making my Valentine's Day hearts. And this is so soft. It's so wonderful. Like, I was saying in a different video that I can't believe I waited to discover this until my store in town, Myers, was clearancing out the yarn. And I thought maybe Lion Brand was going to clearance it out. And I guess I still don't know if they're going to or not, but as of right now that they haven't, in January of 2022. But I'm trying to use up some yarn, and then of course I'm going to end up buying yarn to replace that yarn. But like, I really hope Lion Brand does not clearance it out before I get a chance to buy some. Like, please, Lion Brand, do not do that to me. If you're watching, please, please don't do it. I want all the colors. I want all of it. I love this yarn so much. And like I said, right now it is not discontinued. You can very much get it on the Lion Brand website. I think you can get it at Michael's, and I'm pretty sure you can get it at Joanns. Websites, probably not in the stores. Maybe in the stores. Not in my stores. But yeah, so they call this a bulky 5 also. And I don't know, like, it is a little thicker than a 4-weight. So I suppose it is. I always just have problems saying anything is like a bulky 5 or bulky 6, because generally I don't like bulky 5s or 6s. But like when I'm working with this, it does not feel, it feels like a 4-weight yarn to me, because usually the thicker yarns like stress out my wrists almost. Like I can still work with them, but I don't love it. And I have no issue working with this yarn. None at all. It is 100% polyester. It says that you can machine wash and lay it flat to dry. I believe this was made in China. Yep, made in China. This particular color is called Deuces Wild, and the red that I showed you was called the Joker. All of them are named after like gambling themed casino night type of things. Like I think the black one with silver in it, I think is called the Ace of Spades, if I remember right. I don't remember all the names of them, but they're all like I said, like casino gambling themed boogie nights. But yeah, I really love it. Like this fits so many of my criteria of being soft and squishy and not too big and sparkly and just vintage colors available. And I really love this yarn. I love it. I have 2 other ones. One being, I'm just going to grab this one. Karen Latte Cakes. Had to know this was going to be on there. If I love all things soft and luscious and delectable. If you have never worked with a Karen Latte cake, they are like a little slice of heaven. They are where you can see all of this fuzz on it, and that is not like wool fiber at all, where it's like kind of rough or coarse. It is just like this beautiful soft fur almost coming off of it, only it's more sparse than like fun fur. Let me see if I can grab here. See, it's just very sparse little hairs. It's not too difficult to frog. Some people find it difficult. I think maybe because I work with roving yarn, I don't frog that fast anyway. So if you don't frog very quickly and your stitches aren't crazy tight maybe to begin with, although I think I used to be a very tight crocheter, maybe not so much anymore, because I've had to frog a lot of roving yarn projects, and kind of learned my lesson from that a little bit. But, I don't find it that difficult to frog this anyway, and I don't frog a lot of stuff, to be honest with you. Like, if it's salvageable, I don't tend to frog it, like, unless I've really messed it up. But when I do, like, I don't have a huge problem with most roving yarns. Like, there's always going to be there's always going to be a tangle you can't get out. Sometimes there may even be a tangle with regular twisted worsted weight yarn. It happens, right? So, but I don't find this exceedingly difficult to work with at all, including frogging. This particular one was one of last year's colors. I don't know if they're still around in the store, but it is called Butter Cookie. They say this is a bulky 5, and of course I just tucked it back in from when I showed you. Let me grab another piece of it here. Like, they may be wanting you to use a bigger, what size hook do they want you to use? They want you to use a K hook. So I'm sure they want you to work with kind of like a drape because of that hairy like halo that's on it. But size-wise of the actual yarn, I think I would probably call that a 4-weight. It's very soft, very soft. It is 58% acrylic and 42% nylon. Always surprises me to realize there's nylon in here, like, but it makes sense. It's very soft. It says machine washable and dryable, but let me tell you one thing. I'm almost certain it's the drying process that you want to skip. I don't think it's as much the machine washable one, but like, I made a blanket with this once. And all the little furry, fibery, I washed it and I dried it, and the fur just matted. Like, I'm not talking like a little mat, like where you can kind of brush it up with your fingers. I mean, matted. Like, it's still super soft, and I still use that blanket and I still love it. I think I showed it off in my blanket episode, actually. It's my big furry pink blanket that I just used all this crazy different furry pinks, and some of the furry pinks matted right along with it and some did not, but yeah, this definitely, it did. I personally do not recommend, if you're going to try to be brave and dry it, I would definitely do it on low heat, or like the cool dry. And I would watch it. I would open the dryer partway through and see what's going on. And if you don't like what you're seeing, hand dry that thing, like air dry it, because But I do think it's the drying, not the washing, that does that. You guys could let me know, like, if you've only washed it and still had it mat up, let me know. But I mean, now I just wash the blanket and dry it, whatever, because it's already matted and it's already well loved, and it is what it is at this point. But yeah. Did I say where this was made? Because I know you guys do like to know. I gave myself a paper cut. Ow! Latte cakes fight back. This was made in China. I thought these were made in Turkey. Well, made in China. It's latte cakes. And then I believe we have one left. And the one left is another Lion brand, Mandala Roving. I love Mandala Roving for multiple reasons. Numero uno being that it is a roving, and I love roving, as we've already discussed this. I love that, like, this one in particular is my favorite, which is Hayloft. I have a very pretty shawl made of this, but not in here. And I don't think the shawl is complete now. I thought it was, but I think now that I have more of this, because I had ran out. And thanks to La, thank you, hi La, by the way, she had gifted me some of this, and I have not yet done it, but now that I've pulled this out and I've thought about it, I think I'm going to add more to that shawl and just make it bigger, because I like, you know, big shawls. But this makes a really like just soft, squishy, warm material. My shawl is wonderful. And this particular colorway has, obviously, as you can see, different colors instead of just different shades. It's got like the cream, the taupe, the gold, the orange, and then the green, like the avocado green here. But most of them have got like the black is different tones of black. It's like black, dark gray, gray, and white or whatever. The brown is like a dark brown, a light brown, a taupe, a cream, or whatever, you know. The blue is the same way. And they sort of remind me of like vintage looking, you know, which is right up my alley. So it's another reason why I love them. And the one that isn't is in vintage colors. So I really love the colorways of all of it. I've already said it's a roving. I love that. It is considered a light 3, and 3 to 4 weight is what I like the best also. I would agree that it is a 3 or 4 weight yarn. A 3 is a pretty good. I would agree with that. It's very, very soft. It is 100% acrylic, so it's another one of the yarns that, like I said, if I am making it to gift for somebody, I don't have to, like, I suppose there probably is acrylic allergy, but it's not something, like, you definitely hear much more somebody going, I'm allergic to wool, I'm allergic to alpaca, I'm allergic, you know. I don't know that I personally have heard anybody say they're allergic to acrylic. Like, some people don't want to use it for different reasons, but I've never heard anybody personally that have said they're allergic to it. So like, to me, it's a really nice thing to reach for especially if you don't know if the person is allergic to wool. So this meets a lot. Like, if this were sparkly, this would be like the most wonderful thing, you know. Let's see. It does say that it is machine washable and lay flat to dry, which I haven't done the washing and drying test or anything, but it's probably a good guesstimate on how to take care of things. I know some things that say, like Karen cakes, I said, you're supposed to lay flat to dry, I believe, and you can totally dry them. But yeah, I would, especially because like there's quite the halo. I don't know if you can see, but there's quite the roving halo on this already. And that's without it being worked up. It has just sat quietly and peacefully on my shelf and not been roughed up at all. It's been well loved. And, yeah, so it's going to go into a shawl. The one thing, before I tell you the one thing that I don't love about it, which isn't a big deal, I want to find where it was made. I want to say this was made in China, but made in PRC, the public, RPC, the Republic of People's China, the Republic of something's, it's China. One says RPC. That was the French. Sorry. Made in PRC, the People's Republic of China. Yes, I was right the first time. Okay, anyway. Now that I've got my acronyms set, the one thing that I don't love about this, and it's not a big deal, because normally I'm not a color controller truthfully. Like, I end up not color controlling and then kind of wishing I did. So like, this might be a good thing about it after all, I guess. Where each one of these like joins colors, it is not only a straight break, which would be one thing, but it's literally a straight break. Like the join it's like they just kind of like twisted it together and that's that. You literally have to take them apart, or at the very least, like sew the ends in and reinforce them together when you're working with this. Maybe some of you who have used it haven't done that and have lucked out, but I definitely have not been comfortable doing that when I've used it. Like, I've taken it, looked at it, and I kind of went like that, and it just came right apart. So I would never suggest doing it. I would not suggest pressing your luck and just seeing if it holds. I'm scared to do that for sure. So I would not suggest it. But each one of these each color change is like that. So it basically made me color control. Like the shawl I made is all color controlled. There's no break in it anywhere. Like partway through a row, it's all color controlled. And I do like that about it. So like, maybe it's not a bad thing that it makes me do that. But yeah, I definitely love this yarn. I had a little scare where I thought they were discontinuing this yarn too. Every time they go clearance, like Myers, my in-store or in-town one, in-town store, it's words I'm looking for. Use my words, Heather. Use your words. They had this, they offered it, and they clearanced it out. And that's actually where I have a small stack of it where you can't see it. It's up here. That all came from Myers, and it's like it's like the browns and stuff like that is all up there. And then this colorway came from La because I used up all of mine that I got from Myers. But I digress. They clearanced it out because that particular store wasn't going to carry it anymore. And I thought they were getting rid of that too. That has been like a theme with, oh my God, I thought they were clearancing it out and getting rid of it. So, but they have not. Lion Brand still has it. They don't have it on clearance as far as I know. So I don't believe they're getting rid of it. It'd be really cool if they made a sparkly version of this, or if they got some other colors of it. I'm pretty happy with, like, I would make a lot of things with this colorway though. If I get more of it still, I would definitely make a blanket. I really do love it. It's very soft. It's another one of my criteria, as you know. So yeah, so that is my top 10 in mostly no particular order. There's a lot more like honorable mention type yarns that I wanted to add. I definitely wanted to add the new cloud cakes, but since I haven't officially worked with them, it's more an honorable mention for their squishiness value. I'm going to be working with them soon, but I can't in good conscience talk about how great they are to work with yet because I haven't worked with them yet. I've only squished them. I still recommend highly if you can get your hand on even just one. I don't think you'll be sorry just keeping it around to squish it, though, if you're so inclined. So I do suggest that. Yeah, there is a lot of different yarns that I'm really loving, but I did narrow it down the best that I could, and I wanted to talk about them in case you also thought that you might want to give them a try. But definitely let me know down below if you have worked with any of these, if you particularly like them, or if there's a different one that you super like. Let me know. Or if you want to join my Facebook group, you can tell me there. You could show me pictures of it there. If you want to post them, that's fine. That's fine. Share anything that you want there. That's, yarny, crochet-y, knitty, loomy, whatever related. As for, you know the basic what's acceptable kind of sharing. Yarn hauls are great. I love living vicariously through you guys that get tons of yarn. Like, I go through spurts where I do, and then I go through like dry spells where I don't get big hauls at all, or like don't get any at all. And I'm currently trying to behave, but I love looking at you guys's. So feel free to join up and show it off. No judgment is a judgment-free zone. as far as your yarn hauls go, for sure. Well, as far as anything goes, really. But on that note, I'm going to let you guys go, and I'm going to edit these pieces together and endeavor not to delete something so I won't have to have a take 3. So I will talk to you guys in another video very soon. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.